Hey everyone, welcome back to 22 Panels. I almost forgot the title of the show. This is the podcast that aims to examine, explore, and elevate the medium of comics. I am Tyler, and across the interwebs from me is Phil and Ted. Hello, guys. I am Uncle Fester today.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if
I don't
you've
know. I don't
seen.
know if that lines up with getting webbed up, man.
Have
I don't
you
remember what Uncle
know
Fester's famous for.
the Addams Family? He would light up a light bulb by sticking it in his mouth.
Okay,
Um,
okay. A junior Electro,
um,
if you will.
I just thought it would be funny to change up my name every once in a while on these Zoom
Yeah.
calls.
Well, and we're starting to see some Halloween items in the solicits,
Hmm.
already, which is throwing me for a seasonal loop.
I know, you guys, it's July. Let's take it easy. You know what I mean?
If Halloween starts in July, before we know it, Christmas will want to start in July, and that's way too far. We can't do it.
I know.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's crazy. As soon as 4th of July was over, I was seeing Halloween stuff in stores. Or no, more like Memorial or Labor Day stuff, I guess.
Labor Day stuff. Is that just lawn
Yeah.
furniture and like leftover grilling materials?
And American flags and bunting.
Okay, okay. You got to get, I didn't realize, I've never decorated for Labor Day or Memorial Day, so, I'm just not that
Yes,
patriotic.
I am
Never
definitely
crossed my
not.
mind.
So listeners, Tad is also here. He is
I am.
mysteriously quiet. He is mysteriously quiet.
Deep
Well,
in,
Uh,
deep in
you
thought.
guys were doing stuff. So.
We
we're
were,
conducting business. He's got
right?
some. Phil has got a run of Hickman comics that I am
I do.
very interested in. So
Yeah. That I am finding myself willing to part with in a less stuff to haul to a new city's kind of way.
yeah, we'll arrange something for if you want to do a mass quantity of stuff. Well, we could like meet halfway and exchange
There
it.
we go. Find the midpoint between
Yeah.
Sioux Falls and Nashville. Meet up somewhere in
Chicago.
it's a decent.
Probably
It's probably
probably Chicago.
are you like 8 hours away from Sioux Falls? Is that it?
I'm about.
Yeah, right about. Wait, I can get from my house to Niles, Illinois, which is where my son had lived.
Okay.
I could get there in 9.5.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a little further for you. So it's a little closer to me. I guess, that's I got to take that deal then, I
It
guess,
takes you. It takes you 9.5.
When I had kids with me, and we'd stop, and eat, or
I
See,
believe that.
see.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids will add time, you know.
what do you and Kelly do it in to Sioux Falls?
I mean, it's about 9 to get to Sioux Falls, but that's past Laverne.
That's a half
Mm,
hour past me, right?
okay.
So yeah, I'm just spending my time on the total time traveling in the past has been between 9 and 10 hours.
So right
Chicago might be
now,
the place. Are you looking it
it
up,
Wow.
it
Dad? What the
it
halfway
it,
point?
it does it. Well, no, it says that Laverne to my house is
Mhm.
7 hours and 24 minutes.
Really?
And
It's ambitious.
if we go to Nashville, then it becomes 15:33. So
Okay, yeah.
it actually has you as
Mm.
slightly closer.
Tad's house. We'll meet up at Tad's house for a special episode
He'll
where
broker the deal.
we are going to we'll do it on the show where the deal goes down.
Oh, how the negotiations were made.
Yep,
Yep, that'll
yep.
start the
How the
22
fudge is
panels.
packed, that kind of
Yep.
stuff.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it
God,
would
I haven't
be
heard that
it'd be
phrase before.
7:28 to get to my house and 8:12 from now with
Uh-huh.
both Laverne and Nashville. I'm just putting in the so it's going from
Right.
city center. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
guys
Well,
gave me your addresses, that
that's
could
where I
be.
live. I live
Yeah.
in the city center.
I
And
I know
besides
it
that,
doesn't actually change anything for you, but Nashville's a little bit bigger than
A
that.
little, yeah, just a wee bit. I mean, I'm like I'm on, it at most it'll add like extra 15, 20 minutes to for off the spoke of highway that we are towards Hermitage.
when
So
do you
yeah.
move,
Move
Phil? When do you?
November. So
All
the
right.
timing
So
it might be a little
And then
funky.
you'll be closer.
That's
yeah.
true. That's true.
So let's do this in like September.
Okay. Interesting.
We'll
I
plan.
mean,
No,
it's
I'm dead serious, Phil. Let's take a road
I
trip.
think,
We'll each meet up, and we'll have a weekend
you
in
know,
Chicago.
that doesn't sound the worst. The only hard stop there is I've already burned up all my time off for the year. But if I find a new job before
Hmm.
then, it's a new round of PTO. So,
Oh, if you
um,
have to build it up, though, do they give it to you
It
yeah,
2 weeks
depends
right
on
off
where
the
you
bat?
work. Some
yeah.
Yeah.
places just give it to you off the bat.
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
So, so, so Phil, you came up with our comics news this week.
I
So why
did.
don't you start us out with our comics news? And we
All
should
right.
probably say, we don't say this often enough,
Mhm.
is episode 240 fucking four?
Yep. That's a lot.
Whoa.
Almost
Wow.
more episodes than years of America. We're closing in on it. We'll beat out. We'll be bigger than America in no time, guys.
Well, I
In
mean,
no time.
America has been here much longer than that.
Fair.
Oh,
Hey,
you
Touche.
so
unless
Touche.
you're talking about the United States of America.
Unfortunately, I was. I have a bad habit of
But,
referring to
but
the
like
United States as just.
Canada, America,
You're right. You're right. And
Mexico, America, Bolivia,
yep.
America,
Agreed.
Argentina, America,
Agreed.
Brazil is America.
Mexico, America.
And
All.
and also, believe it or not, even the United States of America was here before it was formed as the United States. It
It's
had
shocking
even
to
been
some,
named
that's for sure.
America.
By one Americo Vespucci,
Right.
if
Or at
rumors are
least
uh
to be
after.
believed. Indeed, but in
so how was you guys' fourth? Pretty good?
fourth, fourth was last week.
I know.
Work, yeah. But this week we did via the beat a headline that indie printer Comics Wellspring has had to suspend receiving new orders and fulfilling current orders. They had to stop printing altogether due to quote unquote unforeseen operational challenges, which is leaving some indie creators in limbo. The recommendation from Comics Wellspring is to seek out Gecko Printing, which is apparently run by the original founders of Comics Wellspring. The Beat article also mentions Comics One as a good indie comics printer that has recently released a statement saying, "Hey, we are open for business and have not been facing, you know, unforeseen operating obstacles." So that's a bit of a bummer. Bit of a bummer. But on brighter news, this week saw a career profile of acclaimed artist Nick Dragata of Absolute Batman and
Batman.
East of West fame. Dragata's art is absolutely incredible. If you are interested in him and interested in comics, which I would hope so, listening to this podcast, go check out Sketched for their career profile on Nick Dragata. Tad, what kind of week has it been?
Well, I mean,
Hold on.
until
I'm gonna
yesterday, when Lindsey Graham also joined the list of people who have talked to Mitch McConnell for 20 minutes, only, more credibly in some ways. And I've heard that they both say it's hot. Um, I think the most interesting thing to me this week is like as Republicans pile on Graham Plattner, and don't get me wrong, like it turns out Graham Plattner is a pretty bad actor, or at least credibly enough so that it's good if he's not our candidate.
Yep.
Uh, but it's kind of ironic to hear the Republicans pile on them, considering that, true to form, the only Republican that hasn't piled on to him is Donald Trump, who says that, like, yeah, if you believe the woman, but sometimes
Holy
women
shit.
just are trying to get attention and they like to get their names in the papers and stuff.
Whoa. Absolutely horrifying. Like that's
So true to form.
well, this is where I mean, I'm sorry, if someone as repugnant as Trump endorses a candidate, that's typically a sign.
I mean, he didn't endorse him, but
I
still,
mean, it's as close to an endorsement as you get. It says
the
defends
the
publicly.
the the
Like,
the the,
holy
the
shit.
bull the bulwark put together the super cut of Trump defending sex predators over the years. He was quite outspoken about like Mike Tyson even after the conviction.
Horrifying.
Um, uh, I mean, like his words on Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein are well documented,
Mm-hmm.
but like,
It's
yeah.
still not well enough documented.
Well, yeah, but yeah,
Ouch.
no, he's got a real track record for,
Yeah.
oh, somebody said they committed sex crimes, but did they?
Oh, they probably did. Unfortunately.
Everybody knows
Unfortunately.
that if
Holy
you're
shit.
famous, you don't commit sex crimes. People just say you committed sex crimes because they want to get their names in the paper.
Just
This is the Donald Trump
it's
defense.
unfair.
And
Yeah.
and
And
like, well,
unfair.
no, I was thinking on it because like one of the biggest things of the U2 movement or Me Too movement
Hmm.
is that there is not as much of a knee jerk anywhere to go, well, this needs to be investigated because,
Yeah. When in reality, the evidence provided in the form of rape kits largely go untested.
well, but I would go
So,
beyond that. Like in reality, not many people really want to be famous for having been
yes,
sexually assaulted.
exactly.
That's not actually a
Yes.
thing.
It's one of those things where when the crime actually doesn't get investigated and the desire to be known for it is not there, you face pretty much uniform social ridicule. Like, no,
Right.
false accusations are not prominent under these circumstances.
I mean, I
Yeah,
refuse to guarantee that like there are any absolutes, but
not
it's just
prominent as hard as I want to go on that because is there at least one case ever? Probably. Is
right.
that notable? Not in this case.
Well, it's like notable because there's like it's notable like the way that the small amount of voter fraud that happens in the
Right,
ways that
right.
Republican, like
Similarly,
you are taking the 1 in a billion
right, right. You're taking the most
and going,
outstanding of
well, it's
statistics,
possible.
yeah, and using that as justification
Isn't
for
it possible?
doing even worse things, arguably. Yeah.
I mean, there was that one guy that he wasn't murdered. He accidentally fell on that other dude's sword. Isn't it possible that I was just target shooting and this
Oh,
guy stood in front of my bullet?
that's why he apologized to Cheney.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Did he really apologize to Cheney?
he
Yes, he did
did.
for getting shot in the face.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I
Yep.
got in the way of your gun. You
Yes, that
know.
was exactly like how do you apologize for that? That
The
is
one of my all-time favorite daily shows was like right after that because they actually did it up. So they had the
mhm,
Cheney's got a gun.
right. Oh,
Cheney's got a gun.
oh
Don't
do,
bend your
do, do,
knee.
do, do.
man.
All
Actually,
right.
like in like since we're plugging other sites, um I'll plug another podcast right now because Jon Stewart for the Weekly Show, his guest this week, and talk about an interesting uh, choice for the second people to talk to once he finally broke his silence. Um, Jon Stewart had a nearly 2 hour conversation with Jack Smith and Brian Driscoll, who was briefly um, acting head of the FBI, about
Oh,
the weaponization of the justice system, about
wow.
it was a fantastic conversation.
Yeah.
Um, but also like I think back to John on um Crossfire and the fact that he's sitting there, screaming at them, I come on between South Park and puppets making
Right.
crank calls.
Jeez.
Do you not understand the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Hardly
somehow didn't totally end Tucker Carlson's career. Um,
only Tucker
though it was
Carlson
a
could end his own career,
though it was
unfortunately
a
for all of
speed bump.
us. Right.
Um,
Oh.
like the fact that like John not only like had to come out of retirement essentially because of the fact that he is one of the most trusted voices in news, as much as news isn't really what he wants to be doing.
Right.
I
Uh,
agree. Like him
but the
coming
fact
back.
that like he would be picked by I mean, because I got to assume that Jack Smith picked him. I can't even imagine that Jon Stewart would have been reaching out to Jack Smith. Right.
No.
What kind of context does Stewart have to reach out to Jack Smith?
I mean,
Yeah,
again, like he does deal with this stuff, and like
sure.
it's not completely out of like
He's definitely interviewed
out
more
of line
prominent.
with his other
Right.
shows, particularly his audio podcast stuff,
Yeah.
which tends to be longer conversations that really get into stuff.
Hmm.
But John also strikes me as somewhat humble, so I just don't see him as the one going, "Oh, I'm the right person to have the first really long." I mean,
Hmm.
I think Smith had talked to MSNBC for like half an hour, 45 minutes. That was the first time,
Yeah.
you know. And essentially that's one of the things that Jack and Brian discuss is like one of the things, and this goes back to an argument that we've had both on and off the air regarding Tom King and the CIA. Um, one of the things they discuss is like most of the people who work for these organizations are there to serve.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever you think about the organizations and not and this is why we see so many people getting fired because they won't do things or resigning rather than doing things or whatnot is that like you may disagree with the route that they're going, but they really are generally moral and upstanding people who are doing this because they think it's the way to help make the world better.
Yeah, I think seeing Kash Patel as the head of the FBI certainly puts a lot of prior heads into perspective, you know?
Right.
Um,
Well, but all of the heads are slightly more political figures.
yeah,
We're not talking heads, we're talking rank and file type people. The
yeah,
people who, they don't get to choose what they investigate. They get told what to investigate.
right. And that's a
That's
very different
true.
job. That's for sure.
And do you want a person who does it, who believes in the laws and is going to try to investigate inside of the laws and whatnot, or do you really want hacks there that when so and so says go? I mean, and the FBI does have a sordid history, which
Yeah.
is like not something that Driscoll or Smith didn't acknowledge. But like what makes it so that those things don't be more sordid is having rules and oversight and whatnot, which is stuff that's going away.
Hmm.
Um, but I think as a nation, and this like something I've been thinking about a lot. One of the panels I put in for um, New York City is two things can be true: dealing with complex issues in comics.
Hmm.
Because I think as a nation, as a society, we have more and more trouble with things that aren't easily categorized as good or bad.
Right.
We want big sweeping. This
And
is good.
and
This is bad, rather than
and not
okay.
only that,
This part
but
is good. That part's not as good. This part depends on your perspective.
and to justify your position on those things that are not so bad, you make them both parties do this. you make them as villainous as possible,
Hmm.
right? For doing or liking or supporting something that is slightly right or left of center, and they just make it the biggest deal ever, right? And it's
Right.
all theater, it's all pomp and circumstance, it's all magic, and it's just fluff, you know. Anyway,
Yeah. And I don't want to get too deep into that because this is the comfort and joy episode.
comfort and joy. My
But
picks.
but it might be an interesting one for later is to pick books that we think really deal with complexities of things that people like to oversimplify.
Yeah, when we get to our great responsibility, I will explain why I picked the books I picked for comfort and joy.
No,
Right?
I was able to guess it, but yeah, you're gonna possibly need to for our audiences. But
I know.
let's get into our new to order books with initial orders due July 23rd.
This first one is awesome because if you have been enjoying the Absolute line, this is Absolute Cassandra Cain, The Shadow's Hand #1 from Che Grayson and Matthias Bergara from DC. Years ago, the Joker trained with the League of Assassins, and when he learned all he could, he slaughtered everyone. But out of the wreckage of what was left came Lady Shiva and her daughter Cassandra Cain. Learn the origin of Absolute Universe's most formidable assassin and how her story is one that is intertwined with the world's greatest thief, Selena Kyle, Catwoman. This has a final order cutoff of August 17th and will be in shop September 9th. Dad, you didn't.
I'm not gonna read the solicit text for either one of these, but we've got two new DC work in progress editions, and I haven't talked about these since I want to say it was the All-Star Superman one was the one that I got. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but we're having both Batman: The Dark Knight Returns #1 and Watchmen #1 are getting the DC work in progress treatment um, for September. Dark Knight is final order cutoff of August 17th, out September 16th. Watchmen August 24th, out September 23rd. But why I like to bring these up every once in a while when they're in the solicits is like a lot of us would love to own all of the beautiful artist editions of books, and like the $100 to $150 price tag is just really outside of what we can do. And what the work in project editions are is essentially that for a single issue and done in an oversight in like I forget the name of the word for that size book, a treasury size
Yeah.
So
edition
it's a
comic.
larger size paper that they're printing on.
It's essentially the same size paper as like an artist edition,
Oh, so it's
but
really
it's
big.
but it's done up as a comic,
Okay.
like a cardstock cover,
Yeah.
right? So you're getting very much a single issue version of an artist edition. So if you want to have that little bit of really being able to see the process,
Hmm.
these are great at a tenth of the price of your average artist edition.
Right.
Because I think that they weigh in at like $15 a piece. So I do like to bring
Yep.
them up from time to time because, like,
I'm looking at
again,
them right now, and they are 14.99
right. Give me a
retail.
second. Let me see if my I have one. Let me see if it's nearby. I'm
Sure.
gonna step away. You guys spill or actually go ahead and read the next one, and I'll come back to it.
All right, the next one up on our final order cutoff list. This is Fixation by Amy Chase and Savannah Mayer from IDW. When superfan Taylor Van Owens wins a contest to stay in the legendary Mallard House, the most iconic filming location for the hit vampire book turned movie Blood Mountain, she and her best friend Kara arrive in Vale, expecting to sink their fans Fangs into a weekend straight from a fangirl's dream. The cast has reunited for a 10th anniversary celebration, and devotees have descended on the small town, and nostalgia hangs thick in the air. But shortly before their arrival, a young woman is found dead inside the Mallard House. Final order cutoff August 3rd, will be in shop September 9th. Tad, what do you got?
Well,
That
I
is
was
pretty
gonna,
big. Wow, that
Okay,
is
so
and it's essentially just the penciled edition, but it's got the lettering so you can read it.
okay. And it is easily twice the size, if not 2.5 times the size of a typical
Oh,
comic issue.
easily.
Yeah.
Here's the way to put it. I've got an absolute edition of Day Tripper right here too.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's larger even than an absolute
oh,
edition. Holy cow. Yeah,
that is big.
that is big. And that's where I think it might actually be double the size of a typical
Oh,
comic.
easily,
Yeah,
easily.
if it's like
I mean, essentially, what it
17
is
by 22.
it's the original art size. It's the
Okay.
size of the boards they work on.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Um, so if you really want to, for people who like to look at again the process, who get to like to, and it doesn't have as many bells and whistles as
AKA
some of
colors.
the um
Color.
artist editions ones will have that sort of thing.
Hmm.
But it's still cool and it's much more affordable. Which
It
is why I
is.
like
Yep.
to call them out
I'm,
from time to time.
I think I'm gonna get the Watchmen one for sure. Because I kind of have an obsession with collecting Watchmen editions. Anyway, Phil, next
Yep.
comic book.
All right, we're moving on. This is the Carman Blade #1, from Darcy Van Holgeest and Ian Bertram over at Image Comics. The Carman Blade, a dying world under a tyrant god, a blade to free them all. A young man on the outskirts of a dying world is chosen by a blade forged of stars to slay the despotic deity Kalu and free the water he hoards in his kingdom. Yet before the boy can begin his journey, he must first face the demons in his own life and answer the Carman Blade's call. Art thou he who taketh me in hand? Art thou he who shall slay a god? This is an awesome looking dark fantasy series coming from Image Comics with a final order cutoff of August 17th, in stores September 9th.
All right. The book, oh no, not quite the book that originally had the same text as that. I'll get to that in a minute. Kill All Immortals Volume 3 from Zach Kaplan and Francesca Mortorino this time around. This is the conclusion of his Kill All Immortals cycle. The Oswalds were once a billionaire Viking family with a secret to immortality until the family's only daughter, Frey Oswald, led a rebellion against their barbaric father. Now, with their family splintered and wounded, they find a daunting world of rival immortals seeking their demise at every turn. As Frey takes on her most deadly adversaries yet, she must finally decide what is most important, her freedom from war or her Viking vengeance. Final order cutoff of August 31st and in stores on October 7th. The next book is the one where we had to go nuts to find the solicit text, because somehow both at Lunar and at Image they had the same solicit text for the Carmen Blade for Gwillem March's Afiusa, which I can only assume is because Gwillem March did a book called Carmen, spelled with an E rather than the A of Carmen's Blade, and somebody just, I don't know. But anyway, the actual solicit text for Afiusa is, in Afiusa, the romance between the irresistible Mar and the young entrepreneur Joan gets off to a flying start. In another timeline, Joan meets the enigmatic Isla on a paradise island, a love triangle in which everyone is hiding something while a dark secret from the past awaits to be revealed. With exquisite artwork that evokes paradise and a story that gradually lays bare the characters' souls, while also leaving room for fun, seduction, and the search for truth. Be careful when diving into the waters of Afiusa. This is from Gwillem March. Final order cutoff of August 24th, in stores September 16th.
Okay, The Rising from Greg Wyden and Lacey from AWA. Ray and his daughter Addie live in a dying industry town set deep in the Badlands. But this is an industry town like no other. The industry is intercontinental ballistic missiles, and with the missile base closing down, it is time for everyone to move on. But for six coma patients, asleep for 40 years after a mysterious accident on the base, things are just getting started. As Ray begins to notice strange glitches in the missile system, and Addie finds grass stains on the coma patient's feet, they soon realize that something evil is lurking in the base and that the fate of the planet itself is on the line. The Rising has a final order cutoff of August 10th and will be in shop September 23rd.
All right, next up there's Scream Halloween Special 2026 from Alex Packnadel, Zach Thompson, Zoe Tunnel, Oliver Gerlach, Alejandro Aragon, Chloe Brailsford, Vic Malhotra, and Babs Tarr over from Rebellion. Doppelgangers and horrifying transformations lurk in the shadows of the Scream 2026 Halloween special as the lines between reality and nightmare blur across five twisted tales, ranging from vampire conspiracies to an AI software update from hell to body altering experimental tech to a mutating archaeological find. Following Scream's 40th anniversary and success of the Eisner nominated Scream, the specials 1985 to 2024, the anthology comic is back with a new episodes of The Dracula File and The 13th Floor, and brand new one-shots to keep you up at night all through Halloween season and beyond. It's going to have a final order cutoff of July 27th, in stores October 28th. After that, there is Superman, the Stranger #1 from Wes Craig, artist of Kaya and Deadly Class, and is an absolute badass with the pencil. Step into the golden age and witness the first adventures of Superman. During the day, Clark Kent does what he can to make ends meet in the bustling city of Metropolis, but when the sun goes down, he leaps into action to keep the city streets safe. As Superman, Clark fights for a better tomorrow, but he feels like he's not affecting change. The rich keep getting richer and the poor struggle to survive. Can Superman truly save the downtrodden? With a final order cutoff of August 10th and in stores September 2nd. Next up, we got some graphic novels, Tyler.
They look pretty good too. All the People I Have Been from Alfonso Casas from Ablaze. It's better to laugh in life, and if possible, to laugh at yourself. In this new graphic novel, cartoonish Alfonso Casas reflects on the various phases of life, portrayed through beautiful illustrations created to remind us of the power of our thoughts and the new worlds in which we constantly find ourselves. As in his previous title, Monster Mind, Casas focuses on the premise that all humans live their own lives within their own minds, which deserves to be treated with grace as our homes among this crazy, big, diverse world. And like again, this is from Ablaze, final order cutoff July 27th, and will be in shop September 2nd.
Alrighty. Dig and Drift from Delphine Panique at New York Review Books. Dreamlike and darkly humorous stories of migrant labor and the gig economy for fans of Black Mirror and The Twilight Zone. In a delicate, sometimes searing send-up of documentary cartooning, Delphine Panique stitches together vignettes of an eerie dream world not dissimilar from our own, and its most marginalized workers, single migrant mothers. A seasonal worker trains messenger pigeons necessary in a country that can't give up instant communication after the disappearance of electricity. A woman who never wanted to be a mother is tricked into caring for a house full of strange children in a coastal town whose rising waters its wealthy residents are fleeing. A fleet of couriers circulate among people who live completely indoor lives supported by deliveries until one day the packages seem different. Virant, smart, and masterfully spun, Dig and Drift at once summons humor, tragedy, and ironic, steely optimism. The indomitable spirit of working women reverberates through the book, translated into English for the first time by Deborah Fischler. This is a final order cutoff of August 24th and in stores on September 22nd.
Right. This is Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment. This is a reprint from Roger Stern, Mike Mignola from Marvel. An all-time classic graphic novel from fan favorite Marvel writer Roger Stern and visionary artist Mike Mignola, reprinted in comic book format. Doctor Doom has a plan to rescue the soul of his mother from Mephisto. All he needs is the unwilling help of Doctor Strange. But why would Earth Sorcerer Supreme join the world's greatest villain on a deadly quest into Mephisto's realm? What price must be paid before the Lord of Lies will release his prize? And will Victor Von Doom be prepared to make that sacrifice? Final order cutoff of August 3rd, and get the issue on September 2nd.
All right, next up there is Forming from Jesse Moynihan at Fantagraphics. Originally begun in 2009, Jesse Moynihan's acclaimed magnum opus was never completed until now. Spanning Atlantis, 10,000 BC, across eons and galaxies, religions and myths, humanity emerges from the primordial soup only to be exploited for its labor by an alien superbeing, leading to wars and forces between the likes we could hardly comprehend if not given life before our very eyes via Moynihan's breathtaking and hand-painted gouache, ink, and airbrushed images, forming heralds the birth of civilization and maps out the genesis of life, mass, time, and space, followed by the raging war that ensues in the universe's years of adolescence and beyond as the final fate of the universe unfolds. It's going to have a final order cutoff of August 10th, in stores October 7th, once again from Fantagraphics.
Havana Split from Bramad and Vic Makioki at Mad Cave, Cuba, 1958. Lily is reunited with her father, the owner of a seedy detective agency in Havana. Well, reunited. Rather, she catches a glimpse of him. Her father, a gambling addict, has been kidnapped along with his secretary by Alfonso, a mafioso and sports betting boss. The deal is simple. Her father in exchange for a starlet, a failed film actress, but above all, the mistress of Alfonso's great rival. Simple, easy, facile, especially since Lily can count on the help of John, an ex-CIA agent, and Jose, a handyman in his spare time, and a full-time coward. And all this in the middle of the revolution. Final order cutoff of August 10th, in stores on September 2nd.
All right. Hocus Pocus from Ian Flynn and Ryan Jampol from Mad Cave. An easily distracted young wizard named Hocus is on a magical quest across a fanciful world of adventure, hijinks, and laughs. Hocus is on the road with her frog companion Pocus and will need all the help she can get to find the powerful arcane relic known as the Yundu. She'll need to brave the spooky road through Spiderwave Glade, the icy storms of Sunblister Valley, and the questionable cuisine of Grimlawn. Along the way, she'll encounter talking spiders, talking skeletons, talking flames, and a very well-meaning ogre named Ugh. He's also quite chatty. Hocus may command powerful magic, but the elements don't bow to just anyone, and especially not bratty novice wizards. Hocus will have to grow and learn a lot in her journey, not just about magic, but about herself and what it means to be a good friend. Lucky for her, she'll be meeting all sorts of great teachers along the way. Come along for a whimsical romp full of magic, mystery, and monsters as we all say, Hocus Focus! Final order cutoff of August 31st and in shop September 23rd.
All right. Identical by Leah Hayes with Fantagraphics. Identical is the story of two twin girls born in the not so distant future, where fertility treatments have begun to use new AI technology, with air quotes around it. Their mother, desperate to have a baby, has sought out this new technology to get pregnant. After they are born, she slowly begins to suspect that one twin is human, while the other is not. Narrated by one of the twins themselves, Identical takes the reader down an uncanny odyssey of self-discovery, one where you are never sure which self you really are. Hayes uses her own experience as an identical twin to explore the realms of sameness and difference, separation and unity. After many years of illustrating books for others, Identical marks Hayes' first time turning the pen inward, bravely exploring the powerful bond that has defined her entire life. Final order cutoff of August 10th, in stores September 16th.
All right. Mess
All right.
from Noah Van Sciver at Fantagraphics. When her semi-estranged and penniless hoarder father dies, Aaron Messina is tasked with cleaning out his house before the bank forecloses on it. This otherwise thankless task is given purpose. However, when she remembers the original Picasso drawing her father was gifted in 1964, she enlists her teenage son, Jackson, to spend spring break looking for their possible ticket to long-term financial stability. Jackson, resentful and eager to shirk responsibility, befriends twin skateboarders who live in the hood and tell him about the violent murder that happened directly across the street from his grandfather's home, and the murderer who still lives there. Emotional baggage, paranoia, and frayed nerves stretch the Messina's relationship to the brink as the mess careens to a thrilling final act that includes two-way radio communication with the dead. From Noah Van Sciver and Fantagraphics, final order cutoff of August 17th and in stores on September 23rd.
All right, Moon Deer from Johan Kavej at Oni. To keep his precious egg safe from the mysterious huntress on his trail, little moon deer must flee across the infinite and empty space at the risk of his life. In this mostly wordless, breathtaking graphic novel, an intergalactic chase unfolds that could steal fate of the universe, ravaged by the dreaded true silence, where one small deer is the last thing standing between life and complete annihilation. It's going to have a final order cutoff of August 31st, in stores October 20th. And next up, we've got some collections, which I'm starting off. 51 from Kurt Piers and Jock at Mad Cave. When the president's black sheep son is caught on a bender in Malibu, he's sent off to Area 51 to work in the warehouse as discipline. It doesn't take long for him and his coworkers to mess up. When they mess up, they mess up big, and all the secrets, horrors, and wonders housed at the black site are now leaking into the world and wreaking havoc. They're tasked to put the genies back in the bottle and bury the stories, and to do so, they'll have to contend with aliens, superheroes, and all manners of experimental weapons. It's going to have a final order cutoff of August 31st, in stores September 23rd.
Cold Hard Cash from Gary Phillips and Adriana Mello at Ablaze. Former Vegas showgirl Martha Cheney is a statuesque
Woman of color?
Yeah, no, I was just caught off guard that they decided to abbreviate that.
Yeah. An interesting choice for sure. In
Right.
text of all places.
Well, they didn't. No, I'm just kidding.
A statuesque walk, a statuesque women of color with a
Walk.
penchant for martial arts. Done with the spotlight and the 40-pound headdresses, Martha's foregone the usual path of winding up arm candy and has taken up a career as a courier of off-the-books money, cold, hard cash. When a former colleague with a more legit line of work asked her to discreetly recover $10 million in stolen funds, of course Martha's on the case. The mission takes her all over California and through more than a few mooks. But will her head-slamming sleuth skills be enough to recover the cash? Final order cutoff of July 27th and in stores September 2nd from Ablaze.
The EC Comics Treasury of Terror, Volume 1. Various writers and artists.
The prolific
Fueled by
various.
What's that?
I said the prolific various.
The prolific various, right?
Yes.
Fueled by rage and revenge, Oni Press is positively thrilled to present this specially selected, caustically curated collection of our very best horror tales culled from across epitaphs from the abyss, catacomb of torment, cruel kingdom, shiver suspense stories, and more of EC's most infamous comic publications. I know why EC's unexpected Eisner Award nominated Resurrection Return from the Tomb has fans screaming for more and mercy in this tastefully morose, gorgeously reproduced collection celebrating EC's greatest tales of grim vengeance and stomach turning tension forged in the immortal EC Comics manner. This has a final order cutoff of August 17th and will be in shops September 8th. All right.
I Want to Be Your Dog Omnibus from Hochi Anderson at Fantagraphics. The first new edition in 30 years. I Want to Be Your Dog is the story where Hochi Anderson announced himself as a creative force to be reckoned with. Mary Greenberg, a Jewish Guyanese woman living in Toronto, is recovering from a bad breakup, one that makes her want to be bad all by herself. Mary's ex, Zal, is a sadomasochistic abuser and petty thief lying low in New York City with his brother Baron. Mary has Zal's colored dog, but this time around she wants to be the one holding the leash. That's when she meets Damien, sweet, soft, and woefully insecure about sex. What starts as a genuine connection becomes an ugly web of moral corruption, domination, and submission. To make matters worse, Mary wants to know what it's like to kill someone. And that's before Zal washes up back in Toronto. This is from Fantagraphics in stores on September 16th with a final order cutoff of August 10th.
Right. Star Trek The Last Starship, Volume 1 from Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing and Adrian Vanilla. A galaxy shattered, a legend reborn, a new frontier begins. After the cataclysmic burn brings warp travel to a standstill and shatters centuries of unity, the dream of the United Federation of Planets collapses almost overnight. Worlds are cut off, civilizations tumble, chaos fills the void where hope once thrived. Out of this cosmic wreckage rises an unlikely beacon, the USS Omega, a lone vessel crewed by survivors navigating a lawless, uncharted galaxy nearly 300 years after the fall. With no Federation to guide them, they must carve out a path through the ruins, facing warlords, scavengers, and the raw unknown. This will be in shops August 3rd, or excuse me, final order cutoff of August 3rd, in shop September 8th.
All right, and finally, there is Vengeance is for the Living by Keenan Marshall Keller and Alex Delaney over at Floating World. Her children savagely murdered. Her husband missing, soon dead. Hand mangled, throat slit, voice gone, left for dead. Her life over. Consumed by the loss of all she's ever loved, Sheila Knox has nothing left to live for but the simmering rage within her heart. So when the men responsible for hurting her and her family come after Sheila to finish the job, they unwittingly let loose an angel of death, hell-bent on hunting down those responsible and making them all pay. With the help of her ex-Marine sister Maureen, Sheila sets out to lay waste to the scum that took her family from her at all costs. Final order cutoff July 27th, in stores October 28th.
All right, we need to make a quick news update.
Dun dun dun.
I got the news alert from New York Times, but it's being announced or reported by the Washington Post, BBC, Fox News, AP, CNN, CBS, NBC, all have it. Mitch McConnell has spoken.
What?
Says he was hospitalized due to a fall and contracted pneumonia.
Okay.
Briefly unconscious.
Briefly.
Yeah. But like actual pictures of him and his wife.
Uh-huh.
So, oh, and
Okay.
this is how you know it's real.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Has anyone made sure they're not AI generated images?
well, it does it sounds like there's actually uh, released an image of himself in the hospital with his wife Elaine Chow
Mm-hmm.
and a statement. Um, and where I was going to say is how you know it's real is he's holding a current newspaper.
Oh.
He's
For the
not quite
ransom?
holding it up in the ransom way. Yes, this is from today. Let me
Oh.
show you the picture because
So
Oh God,
apparently Satan couldn't pay the ransom, and that's why he's back out of hell? I don't know.
guys,
something like
wait,
that.
wait, wait, wait.
But
What?
just look
What?
at the way he's holding the newspaper. Doesn't that just look like, see,
Oh.
I'm alive today.
You
This
know
is.
oh God, this is,
Oh.
yeah, that's freaky. I don't know, man.
Okay. Hey,
I
hey,
don't
hey.
trust.
Do you guys remember in the movie Hannibal where Gary Oldman is all disfigured? Did you guys watch that?
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
No.
Mitch
I only saw
McConnell,
Silence of the
that
Lambs.
that picture of McConnell there looks just like Gary
He
Oldman in
he
after
looked.
he had been mangled by
I was not ready for that jump scare.
Hannibal.
A,
I
a
know.
a downright cheery Mitch McConnell in the hospital bed. That was
Like
terrifying.
this, guys.
But also
I
like
mean, this is
this
also.
is the
What?
statement. My
You guys,
doctors have confirmed that I didn't break any bones or suffer a concussion. I didn't have a heart attack or a stroke. I don't have any tumors or hemorrhages, but I was briefly unconscious and was taken to the hospital. While receiving excellent care over the past weeks, I've also had to deal with a mild case of pneumonia.
huh.
Oh,
Well,
I
what are the Republicans going
I
to do now about their weekend at Bernie's plan?
I
I
don't
mean, they
I
were going to
I
just
hold
mean,
this.
are we certain that the weekend at Bernie's plan isn't over?
I'm really
It might
Have
be
not.
you ever
happening right
seen him
now.
smile like that? That feels that, I mean,
It's
I
not
am
only, it's
just
uncanny.
asking questions. Let me make that
Look,
clear. I am
this
just
is
asking questions. But doesn't that picture look like it might have been helped out by like
it
a
it
mortician?
it looks it looks it's
His mouth is
disturbing,
just
Tad.
glued
Please.
into that Joker
Please.
smile.
I
Dad,
don't
take it away.
I don't want to see whatever that
I
creature
don't want to
is.
look. I don't want to look.
I'm just
Here's the thing.
asking questions. Does
Here's
this
the thing.
actually prove he's
I
alive?
think I think that if Donald Trump was allowed to ask for Obama's long form birth certificate back in what, 20,
Oh, eight.
yeah, '08, then we here at 22 Panels are demanding video of Mitch McConnell alive presently in order
No,
to believe it.
we want him to come on the show and talk
Come
to
on
us.
the
We'll
show,
create
please.
the video.
Oh God, I couldn't. I would die. I would die. I just, oh my God. I mean,
I'd ask him hard-hitting questions.
I'd shout "fuck you." It'd be
That
great.
wouldn't be
It'd
helpful
be
though.
great.
It
He
my
needs to hear
goal,
it from someone, Tad.
my goal would be to piss him off so much that he shouted "fuck you" at me.
Okay, that's fair. That's the true interview spirit right there.
I mean, even if you're not doing a pure news interview, even if you're doing more of the "I'm putting you on the spot" interview,
Uh-huh.
like your goal should never be to show yourself as crazy. It should be to be the sane one in the room that drives
Oh,
them crazy.
but it's too much fun to be crazy, Tad.
Oh, it's awfully fun to make people crazy too.
All
Um,
right.
Oh,
Let's go down the final order cutoff, guys. I gotta eat in half an hour, my wife said.
okay.
okay.
All right, we're real buckling down here. That's enough fun for one day.
So
Final order cutoff. I'm sorry. I opened it in the same window. I thought it was in a different window. Final order cutoff for Monday, July 20th. There's actually a lot of collections and graphic novels. So this is a good week if
there
you're a trade waiter to make certain that you go talk to your comic shop. Batman and Robin Year One Dynamic Duos #1 from Mark Waid and Chris Samney. DC Comics in stores on August 12th. The Collected The Blood Brothers Mother from Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Riso at Distillery in stores on September 29th. The Collected Crownsville from Rodney Barnes and Elia Benetti at Oni Press in stores on August 11th. Like Swimmers, graphic novel from Dash Shaw at New York Review in stores August 25th. The Collected Masterminds from Zach Kaplan and Stephen Thompson from Dark Horse Comics in stores October 20th. The Complete Once and Future Omnibus from Kieran Gillen and Dan Mora at Boom in stores October 20th. On Their Front Lines, The Lives of Japanese War Brides Volume 1 from Marina Lisa Komiya at Fantagraphics in stores on September 2nd. Regicide #1, from Patrick Kindlin and Ludovic Laliat from Image Comics in stores August 12th. UK in a Bad Way and Other Stories from James Harvey at Uncivilized in stores on August 19th. The complete collection of We Only Find Them When They're Dead. Weren't you just talking about this, Phil?
I
From
was.
Al Ewing and Simone DeMeo at Boom in stores on October 20th. And Yumi X #1 from Doug Wagner and Hoyt Silva at Image Comics in stores on August 12th.
This will also say that Once and Future, if you haven't read it, is also a great book. For sure for indie series from Boone. Crowdfunding. First up, there is Nerd Emergencies and Other Misunderstandings, a comics showcase of neurodivergent perspectives from Andrew Coltrane and Partly Robot and Zazu cartoons on Kickstarter through July 14th. You only have a day or so after this episode drops to fund it. Please, please get that out in the world. Stellar Remnant #2 from Damon George Hampton on Kickstarter through July 15th. Liberty, the armed smugglers who helped win the revolution from Jordan Mechner, Etienne Leroux, Loic Chevalier, and Neurobellum Productions/Magnetic Press on Kickstarter through July 22nd. Subculture on In Crowds and Outliers by comics' finest writers, artists, and record thieves, edited by Shelley Bond on Kickstarter through July 23rd. Ghost Brawler #1 from the team of legendary comic series Chew, John Layman, and Rob Guillory on Kickstarter through July 23rd. The Monuments Volume 2, Let His Death Be a Warning from Oliver Mertz on Kickstarter through July 29th. Outlaw's Apprentice, Broken Blade from Chris Schweizer on Kickstarter through July 30th. Think Your Teeth In #2 from Zoe Tunnell, Lauren Knight, JP Jordan, Jordy Troutman, and Michelle Abinator on Kickstarter through August 6th. I believe you can also pick up #1 if you didn't already. And then still launching soon is the Tezuka God of Manga documentary from Jason Cohn on Kickstarter at some point, hopefully soon, so the world can see the God of Manga in action. Humble Bundle. What's on Humble Bundle, Tyler?
Nothing. No, I'm just kidding. Sonic the Hedgehog has their 35th anniversary from IDW. For $18, you guys, you're going to get 27 items, and this goes to the Children's Miracle Network, and it's recently been extended to July 18th. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and more from DC comes in at $18 for 30 items, so a little more bang for your buck. And this goes to the Book Industry Charitable Foundation. Also, July 18th is the cutoff for that. There's a new one up here that I haven't seen yet. Clip Studio Creative Collection, Paint, Draw, and Animate. For $25, you get 10 items, and I am just looking at them right
Is it
now.
like drawing software? Clip Studio,
It is the premier comic making
Ooh,
software.
heck yeah. That is awesome.
It is the software that almost everybody, a lot of people use Procreate and this, some people use this and some Photoshop. But yeah, when I asked Spike Trotman what to get, because I have a cousin who's getting into making comics on her own, this was immediately what she said.
Clip Studio, okay.
All right.
How come I'm not finding it? I'm looking for it.
Well, because it's under the software packages rather than the book packages.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
And
I'll
then
have to look this more closely.
The last one, let me finish that there. You get 10 items for $25, and the donors choose a public education charity for the money to go to.
I mean, if you opened it up, go ahead and go through the items, because it's essentially a year of a year of the main program.
Yeah, Clip Studio Paint Pro version 5. There is the Ultimate Brush Pack, 200 Clip Studio Paint and Photoshop brushes. The Superhero Brush Pack, then 100 a comic brush pack. So that's 500 brushes. And then plus 100 3D paint models, plus 100 more 3D poses, plus 200 speech bubbles, and 100 comic and manga panels, and then 400 storyboard assets, and then Moho Debut 12.5. It looks like also software for creating cartoons and animations. That's probably their animation software as compared to Clip Studio Paint, which is the drawing
Right.
and comic software. So that is a total of 500, 700, 800, 900,
Right.
1,000, 1,400 digital assets to use with a year license to Clip Studio Paint Pro version 5.0. I'm looking at this for my wife because she is a graphic designer, and I mean, like, just having this on hand would be convenient.
I'm looking at it
Well,
for myself, you
Except for
guys,
my
right.
because
And
for
that's
30
one of the
for
reasons that I wanted to make certain
$30,
we talked
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
for
$25.
$30,
Yeah.
okay, but the $30 version I have it clicked on, you get $407 worth of thing,
Yeah.
right? Worth of stuff.
Yeah.
That is a steal.
Bonkers.
Well, and this is where I will also toss out that one of the things that Spike told me was to also follow them on Blue Sky, because they semi-regularly do really big sales on their like forever
Yes.
license
I've heard
for
that
the
as well,
for the right.
which is notable because Adobe doesn't do that anymore. You cannot
Right.
get just the software of Adobe products. So that's
But
where
I mean, even so, like it looks like it's $27 a year for a 12-month license on Clip Studio. I
an
mean, a
absolute
lot of
steal.
what you're
Yep.
getting here
Yeah.
is all the extra packages are $30 to $50 extra packages.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. For those of our listeners who are comics creators, this is a highly recommended
Hot ticket.
and again, $25 and like I kind of like this charity. I read about Donors Choose, founded in 2000 by Bronx history teachers. Donors Choose has raised more than 510 million for America's classrooms. Teachers come to Donors Choose to request the materials and experiences they need most for their classrooms, and donors give to the projects that inspire them. More than 2.5 million people and partners have funded 870,000 projects on the site, reaching 21 million students and making Donors Choose the leading platform for supporting U.S. public schools. Donors Choose is the only crowdfunding platform that vets each request, delivers materials directly to schools, and captures the impact of every funded project with photos, thank yous, and a cost report showing how each dollar was spent.
Wow.
Learn more at donorschoose.org. So on one side, I hate it that we have to crowdfund public education.
Right.
Just like I hate it every time I need to share somebody's GoFundMe page for the surgery they just had. But on the flip side, that's the world we live in.
Unfortunately.
So while we should fight hard to improve that world, while we live in it, doing things to further better public education, et cetera, is a big deal. So that, yeah. But now I'll let you move on to Blade Runner.
Okay, we've got one left, and it's the Blade Runner collection from Titan Alcon. $18 gets you 17 items. This goes to the Direct Relief Emergency Medical Charity. July 30th is the cutoff for that. I'm going back to my comic thing here quick so I can pull that up. Blade Runner. To check out what's in that one. Okay. There's a lot of good stuff in this as well.
It's essentially all a Titan's Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
To be honest,
that's great.
I wasn't even aware that there were Blade Runner comics.
There have been for a while.
All right.
Yeah.
Missing out.
And Direct Relief is a emergency medical charity, kind of similar to Donors Choose, only obviously when you're doing emergency medical funds, it's got some Red Cross type stuff to it, but it specializes more in or at least like looking at it, it looks like it specializes more in where Red Cross is doing like the emergency first aid, it's kind of doing like the second wave um areas that
Mm,
have been hit, getting drugs in, getting yeah. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
So
Well,
anyway, three
we're
books that I loved.
yeah. What were they?
Heaven from Katie Skelly came out. Katie's first graphic novel in I think 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So good. I liked it. I liked it very
Eh,
much.
I'm just kidding. It was really
And
good. I
and
here I went. No.
did you read it?
Eh. Yes, I did. It's really
Yeah,
good.
I thought it was good. And I get to talk to Katie this week, so that's also
Yep.
fun. Witness Point from Nathan Fillion,
That
Heath Orson, and Sue Lee at Dark Horse was a
yes, that Nathan
number
Fillion. It
one.
was it
It
was
was
really
that
good.
Nathan Fillion. It was a pleasant surprise. I mean, you can tell that Fillion and Corson come from TV writing, but Sue Lee is definitely a comic book artist. So, like, it was a good pairing to make a good comic from people who aren't necessarily used to writing comics, if that makes sense. Um,
Yep.
I'm interested to see where it goes. It's kind of it's kind of in plain sight meets Law and Order. Only I don't know if we'll have any of the orders. So maybe
just
Meets
law.
law. Good law.
meets like a police procedural. I mean, in plain sight is a little bit of a police procedural, but it's like WITSEC and a murder investigation collide.
Converge. Yeah. Yep.
Right. And then Vampirates #1 from Fred Van Lente and Luca Pizzari was just swashbuckling fun.
Yeah.
With
If you're
clear,
sick of your pirates coming from One Piece, go to Vampirates.
right. And I didn't manage to read any One Piece yet. Preview
Nah.
of the One Piece race
Spoilers,
coming up.
God.
Um, where I think I forgot to. I think we're on 107 now.
Spoiler. I thought he was jumping
Anyway,
ahead, and I'm like, here we
no,
go.
he's got it. No, he's got. Phil's got to take his walk.
I do.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
gonna say if we jumped to the One Piece race, I would have to like dog paddle or flipper or something because we'd be treading water. I am in the midst of what I'm now referring to as my summer sabbatical. So I've been just recharging, time off work. Highly recommended. If you can take like a solid 2 weeks off of work at least once in
Do
your
you see my
life.
face, guys? What? Is this your new thing now? You're just gonna like put in like,
Just
here's why I'm
whatever I'm
not
doing.
reading. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Here's
I
why
mean,
I'm not reading, guys.
well, but I'm reading in a
I
bit.
would actually argue that this
Uh-huh.
should mean that you're reading way more.
Well, this week coming up, the first week has been a lot of relax and recharge, but now I have a docket of
You
I'm making
don't
sure to go over the
relax and
comics first.
recharge with comics?
Not always. Sometimes the recharging is mostly getting as much sleep as I want every day. That has been a game changer. Like
Well, I
not,
get that.
yeah, like not waking up to an alarm has been absolutely stellar.
Right,
You know,
right.
so highly recommended. And then the other part of it is that when I do have energy, I've been on the job hunt for you know do
Yep.
you think, and I mean, today is I the most excited I've been to apply for a job, so fingers crossed. I hope I get it. We'll see. We'll see. As we heard,
What?
Tad did not read any One Piece, but I finished up the first volume of Goodnight Pun Pun. So I'm 23 chapters in, and I've got the ILL, the Interlibrary Loan Request for Volume 2. And in the meantime, we'll be picking up several other Inio Asano books from the library probably tomorrow. So that'll
I'm a
be a good amount of read.
big Inio Asano fan.
Yeah, this has made me an instant fan of his. So I've got like Downfall, What a Wonderful World, Girl on the Shore, and
Girl on the Shore is so good.
yeah, and I think Nakajima Hologram. All five of those
Yep.
I'm getting from the library
Yeah.
for the wait between
Yeah.
Pun Pun volumes. So I'm on a good manga kick for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
So comfort and joy is our great responsibility. We're doing another pick three. I
Mhm.
see Phil managed to pick one of the same books from last time, I
I'm
actually deliberately didn't do that. And
Yep.
earlier you had one of the books that I had last time, the
I
one that
did.
I was the one that I had debated
Leaving
picking
on
two
there.
weeks in a row.
Yeah, right. Well,
And
I,
I felt better about not picking it because it was on your list, but you took it off.
I did. I mean, we can still mention Calvin and Hobbes is ubiquitous with
Calvin and
comfort and
Hobbes, I
joy.
think, is everybody's comfort and
Yeah,
joy book.
and
Yeah,
that's why when I was reminded,
Calvin and Hobbes, in some ways, everybody's
mhm.
everything book.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and I was thinking earlier I had forgotten the pick that I changed it to, so that's why I did all of a sudden because I'm like, you know what? I mean, everybody already loves Calvin and Hobbes, so
uh,
if they haven't heard of this book, then maybe that'll be a good one.
but I mean, everybody's heard of mine too, and I still had to go with it
Well, yeah,
because
I
Mad
see
Magazine.
a last minute audible
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah,
Uncle
yeah.
Fester scrambling in the end zone.
Preacher got dumped.
What?
Yep. Yep.
Preacher got dumped at the last minute.
You need to go
Also a
even
great book, and I could see it
even
being a comfort and joy book. I
even
still need
more
to read
unhinged
what
than
you put
Preacher.
in, so we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mad Magazine always makes me happy, really from any era. But I really love the original Harvey Kurtzman era. But I'm one that like even when they went color again, because they started color, but even when they went color again and whatnot, I didn't find it. I didn't think it had slipped as much as a lot of people did. I think more like it set a certain standard for itself for edginess, but then what it wasn't as edgy anymore. And it didn't change what it was, or when it did, sometimes it missed, sometimes it didn't. So like to have something for that long and I mean it's like the rock and roll band. Do you want to be an Aerosmith where every album is Aerosmith and almost interchangeable, or do you want to be a Pearl Jam or REM where sometimes the new album sounds so different that like your fans are upset because they're like, I just want my Jeremy. Where's
I would have
everybody
picked,
hurts, you know.
for the band that sounds the same over every album, I would have picked AC/DC.
Sure,
Yeah.
AC/DC works too.
Yeah.
Um, but so Matt, I mean, I mean, this is also a problem that lots of superhero comics have is like how do you remain fresh and cutting edge, while at the same time having your longtime fans not feel betrayed,
Eh,
etc. So there's a huge amount of balance. So uh I,
So you're just an overall fan of Mad, all of it,
I
the whole
am.
journey, the whole the ups and the
I
downs.
really, I mean, I will say that I didn't read it as much during its last decade, but when I
Hmm,
did, but more of that had to do with just not being, I mean, I had to let my subscription lapse eventually.
gotcha.
I mean, it's one of the few things that I ever had like an in the mail subscription to.
Huh.
Um, and certainly the only comic type thing that I mean, I would get like it and Rolling Stone, right? Um,
Did you buy Wizard when it was coming out?
I would buy it month to month and not a guarantee,
Yeah, same. Yeah.
you
This
know.
the only magazine I ever had a subscription to, I'm pretty sure was Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that was awesome.
so like the 90s and 2000s I loved. But I also love
Yeah.
everything that I go back to before that. Um, Again, like I watched there's a great Mad documentary out right now. I'm trying to remember what it's called. I think I found it on either Tubi or Amazon or both. When We Went Mad is the name of the documentary. And it kind of dealt with that a little bit, like part of what they think made it hard, and actually it looks like it is on both Prime and Tubi, so it's free in multiple places. Um, but is that like the same when you reach a generation whose parents grew up on Mad, it's not as subversive.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
part of what made it sell so many copies, but yeah, fascinating documentary, fascinating. I mean, I just love the book. um I mean, like, I've been thinking, as we're definitely in the second half of the Love and Rockets book club, and I wonder if we'll continue trying to be weekly, or I mean, I think we're gonna, with that, try to I think we're going to go through Love and Rockets again, but in like collected forms where we're doing story arcs rather than single issues. But if we do that, it's not as likely to be weekly. Um, and I kind of like having the weekly thing, and Mad Magazine is like high on my list of options to do. Like, let's start at number one and
Just do
go.
it. Just
Right.
that would be
Um,
fun. But hey, let's keep
But we need to
rolling.
keep
I've
going.
got I've
Carl
got
Barks
nine
and Ducks,
minutes.
Duck Books, and Bone by Jeff Smith. Similar reasons. I mean, the reason Mad's on top is it just hits on so many. It makes me laugh, but it hits on so many cultural and societal everythings. Whereas Bone and Carl Barks are both. I mean, they do have societal whatnot, but it's like with Bone, it's one long story. With Carl Barks, it's not one long story, but it's one set of characters, that sort of thing. But they always make me feel warm and just happy to be alive. So
Hmm.
those are my books. Tyler,
That's
you
awesome.
went like the exact opposite way, but I can totally see it because these are also books that well, two of them are ones that I find a lot of joy in, and one is one of the glaring um omissions in my knowledge
Okay.
base.
Same.
Okay. So here's how I went. These books I picked out of times in my life where I was more depressed or just needing something, and getting into a good story really helped. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
And so I went off to college after high school, and got really depressed and homesick. I didn't go with any classmates or anything, so I was definitely isolated. And the one kid that I met handed me a copy of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. Um, and I think it was just his way of saying, "Hey, check this out. It's pretty funny." And then, yeah, it's dark, it's twisted, and it just made me go, "Oh my gosh, people write comic books that aren't superheroes." You know what I mean? And they're this good. Seeing the artwork so stark, the black and white, was kind of new to me as far as realizing what comic books could be. Um, and then a while later, I was going through a divorce, and again, like, well, I'm going to dig deep into comics because I need something to do with myself. And Sweet Tooth was the first one that I started reading in issues during that time period. And then Why the Last Man, I started at the same time, but started that in trades. So
It's an
I
interesting pair.
got to like jump in with these both amazing series um together when I was going through a pretty crappy period.
Yeah.
So,
So
Tad, I
that's
can't
how
believe you've
that's
never read Sweet Tooth.
No, I've read
I'm
Sweet
kidding.
Tooth. I haven't read
I know.
Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Me neither. I've heard about it. I've
mm,
heard a lot about it.
yeah.
In fact, like I was one of the people that didn't wind up going to the Jonan Vasquez thing at CXC last time. I had
Yeah.
other stuff going on, among other things, but also like I know of Invader Zim. I
Yep.
know of Johnny
Pretty
the
funny.
Maniac, but I actually haven't read any of Jonan's work.
Yeah.
It's really
Um,
the Johnny stuff is, and then there's a spinoff called Squee. It's really good in the fact that it's so simple in its premise, is that there is this young kid named Johnny that he just can't be around people. He will literally, I mean, the whole comic book is him obsessing about murdering, and it's dark, it's twisted. You're like, holy crap, what? I can't believe this guy wrote a book like this, but it's great, And then as far as Invader Zim, that's just a really fun, quirky alien story.
Right.
And Vasquez's work on those two things really just, to me, shows creativity in a way that isn't shown too much anymore. I mean, outside of like Tim Burton or something, people really aren't pushing that dark, macabre kind of stuff right now.
I mean, I think that the face of it is changing a lot. Where like, I mean, Tim Burton, in that same way that Tad mentioned that, oh, parents who grew up on Mad is it's not as subversive to their kids. Like parents who grew up on Tim Burton, it's not as like shocking and adult for their kids. And stuff like
You're
that.
right. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That is true. I show my kids Wednesday. I'm like, oh, this is Tim Burton. He did blah blah. And they're like, yeah, I don't care. I do not
Right.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just went right past him.
All right. How about you, Phil? What
For
were
me, so I kept on my list from last week, Delicious in Dungeon by Ryoko Kui, because this is a series that does bring me comfort and joy. It's really it's a great blend of action and humor and just bizarre weirdness of people eating monsters. And one of the best early stories is them finding out that, oh, living armor isn't like a spell cast on a suit of armor. It's actually a form of mollusk that like implants itself like seamlessly to the husks of all the joints in a suit of armor. So one is like a colony of mollusks and weird stuff like that they grill. It's so creative. It's also, a good amount of, like I said, action humor mix. And jokingly, I don't know how long we're going to stick with the you pick threes for great responsibility, but I want to see how long Delicious in Dungeon can meet the criteria. How long can it reign supreme on in terms of
you're just gonna
uh,
keep picking it? Just keep
just keep
throwing it
picking
in
it,
there.
just seeing how long, because it's a really good book that
It is
takes
a
a
good book.
really takes a really interesting point of view, and it goes places that I haven't seen in other books quite as well. It's super unique. It's great. It's one of those that got better as I kept reading it and looked interesting, and then when I actually dug into it, it really hooked me. Next, the one that bumped off Calvin and Hobbes is Coda by Cy Spurrier and Matthias Bergera, which is another fantasy series, a post-apocalyptic fantasy series. And I mean, honestly, I'd use this to describe Spurrier and Bergera's work in general. Of same with Step by Bloody Step, and I'm really excited for the upcoming uh, Parliament of Magpies from them. But just they do a great blend of like colorful fantasy action and still a heart-wrenching story. They just work so well together between artwork and storytelling techniques. I really love everything they do. And then lastly was the Bo Jeffrey saga by Alan Moore and Steve Parkhouse that I reread a bit of and we'll probably finish rereading later tonight. Of it's I just I upon starting to reread it, the first story had me howling in laughter, and my wife was like, "Was that from what you're reading or watch it?" And I was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "This book is so funny." It seriously is like um, just deeply, deeply humorous, and is probably one of the most like human and like grounded perspective things that Moore has written, while still being absolutely him. Of like, here's a bizarre family with a vampire and a werewolf and a weird fungus monster in the greenhouse outside. Um, so yeah, yeah, it's a great time. Um, is that it? That's all. I guess that's all the time we got. We got a minute left. So Tad, what books are looking spectacular for next week?
What books are looking spectacular? As always, we have another great week. So quick run through ones that I know are spectacular. Sword of Crisis Events number 9 from Dennis Camp and Eric Zawadski. Dork number 6 from Brett Bean. Fear of Death, a Rachel Rising story from Terry Moore. If Destruction Be Our Lot number 3 from Matt Rosenberg, Mark Elijah Rosenberg, Andy McDonald, and Francesco Segala. Of the Earth number 3 from Chris Condon, Andrew Eric, and Charlie Adlard. And Tiger's Island number 5 from Patrick Kindland and EPHK at Image. The 3 that I'm most looking forward to, and it's so funny. I don't have it yet, hasn't been sent out, but I have purchased a page of art from the one on the top of my list because David Lapham had his crazy $33 a page if you buy 3 or more.
Holy crap!
Once in every
you
5
pull
or
out
6.
100 and you pull out your $100 and go, here you go.
I dropped $100 for 3 pages, including a page from John le Carré's The Circus, Losing Control number 3 by Matt Kint and David Lapham at Dark Horse. I'm kind of curious as to how Lapham wound up taking over for Ibrahim Mustafa. For that matter, the cover that's posted still has Ibrahim Mustafa's name on it, but the solicit text is changed to Lapham. I hope it's for good reasons because Ibrahim's a friend as well. And A Life number 6 from Kyle Starks and Steve Pugh at DC Vertigo, and Junk Punch. Yes, Junk Punch. It's exactly what it sounds like. The Girl Who Will Punch You in Your Junk from Paul Tobin, Carlos Javier Oliveras, and Lynn Vizel at Mad Cave. So yeah. What do you got, Phil?
My all-new giant-sized trade waiter graphic novel pick is Ghost Pepper Volume 2 by Ludo Lulabi and Adriano Lucas over at Image Comics. It's a series I've had my eye on for a while, and who knows, I might just catch up on reading this week from Hoopla, because I'm pretty sure it's on there. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right,
guys. Well, that's all she wrote. It is 7:01, and I am going to go eat dinner. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will catch you guys after the next page. See ya.